The search for a missing local man intensifies this morning as his family offers a reward for information.
The stalking strangler's date with death looms tomorrow, but will the execution proceed as scheduled?
And it's National Walkout Day in public schools around the country. I'm News 3's Logan Wilbur. Find out how some of our district's local schools plan to handle it.
On your side, this is News 3 This Morning.
Good morning, Phoenix City. We're taking a live look at the Phoenix City Amphitheater cam. It is now 6 a.m. on this Wednesday. Can you believe it? The week is just kind of moving right on along.
Midweek, here we are.
That's right. Good morning and welcome to News 3 This Morning. I'm Tila Stahl.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Greg Lloyd.
And if the cold shower doesn't help you out, go outside in cold weather.
That would do it.
Yeah, it's actually a little warmer this morning than it was at this time yesterday, but we're still with a frost advisory out there for this morning. So we're dealing with that. Let's take a look at the conditions out right now. We're at 40 degrees and wind chill's only 40, so we're in pretty good shape there. But keep in mind with this time change, we will be much colder. Wow, it's affecting my voice. Please give me an ice pack on my throat. There we go. And you can see the clear skies up above. High pressure is going to be in control again today. And I'm giving it a 3 just like yesterday with a high of about 58. So still below normal and lots of sunshine to go around for today.
Well, the sun helps.
Oh,
it has to be cold,
beautiful.
at least it's sunny, right?
It was beautiful yesterday.
Yeah.
You get
Always
yourself
helps.
a real good sunburn in a heartbeat.
Yes, you
Careful
can.
out there.
All right.
I'll be right over there if you need me.
We'll need you.
Okay.
Thank you, Jeff. Public school students around the country are expected to take part in walkout protests. Find out how some of our local districts plan to handle it.
Plus, find out how weather influenced local fruit crops this year. Your Wednesday morning kicks off with the News 3 eye-opener.
When you walk out, we don't know where they're walking to or what they're walking into. Once they come into our doors, we're responsible for their safety.
This morning, schools across our area prepare to deal with National Walkout Day.
We know that people don't just disappear.
And that's why police and family members of a missing local man vowed to continue their search for him.
The push for regulation for Alabama faith-based child care centers gains momentum.
This is about the safety of our children, making sure that they're safe and the conditions are healthy.
If y'all need help, just come ask. If you see us in a car, off duty, you see a badge, just come ask for help. We can do something for you.
And that type of work ethic is one reason this Columbus police officer is honored for excellence on the job.
Find out how the cold of this winter impacted fruit crops in our area in Carmen's weather question.
And Happy Pie Day, the day with double meaning in our area. We'll explain, but first, this morning's top stories.
This morning, schools across the country are bracing for the national walkout today. Protests plan to honor the 17 students killed 1 month ago in Florida.
But how do some of our local districts in our area plan to handle it? News 3's Logan Wilbur joins us live in the studio with details of this story happening today. Logan?
Greg, Tila. Several schools in our district say they're ready for National Walkout Day and have plans in place. A social media call to action asked students to walk out of school for 17 minutes today, honoring the 17 victims of the Parkland, Florida high school shooting. At St. Anne Pacelli here in Columbus, administrators are working with students to coordinate a peaceful demonstration.
All walking out together as a school. We plan to read every student's name and release a balloon for them and say a Hail Mary for that particular individual.
However, Muskogee County has scheduled a sit-in rather than a walkout for students to participate in a conference call with state legislators. District administrators have warned of disciplinary actions for students that do leave the school. Opelika Schools is not sponsoring any activities today, though Harris County and Troup County school districts tell us they will allow supervised walkouts. Tila, Greg?
Thank you, Logan. Well, this morning, the Florida man accused in the mass shooting of the 17 people in the South Florida high school is preparing for court. 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz is scheduled for arraignment today. Broward County prosecutors announced they will seek the death penalty. The state's attorney's office officially filed that motion on Tuesday.
Digging deeper into the overall school safety conversation, Georgia Secretary of State and Republican gubernatorial candidate Brian Kemp shared his plan to protect students from gun violence. He shared that with News 3 ahead of today's National School Walkout.
I believe it is a candidate for governor that we need to trust our educators, our superintendents, our school board members, and especially our parents in the local community to see what they need to do to secure their school if they're worried about that.
Kemp also tells News 3, quote, "While I don't oppose arming teachers, I believe that's something that should be done with the blessing of the local community and the local policymakers," end quote. Kemp is one of 6 candidates vying to be Georgia's next governor in a crowded field, which includes Casey Cagle, Hunter Hill, Clay Tippins, Mark Urbach, and Michael Williams.
This morning, changes are in progress for every Muskogee County school. The Muskogee County School District Security Director has called for full-time armed officers and metal detectors at every school. State legislation is in place to create a department comprised of trained peace officers with limited jurisdiction, such as Columbus State University's and Columbus Technical College's police departments. There's no provided estimate for the cost to implement these proposals.
Making headlines in Alabama, lawmakers in the Senate considered a bill Tuesday which would require some church daycares to be state regulated. Representative Peblin Warren is the bill's sponsor. She says the new law is a step in the right direction for creating safer environments for children across the state.
But I'm committed to stay in here until this bill passes and the governor puts her signature there. Because, as I've always said, this isn't a political bill. This isn't about church. This isn't about heaven and hell. This is about the safety of our children and making sure that they're safe and the conditions are healthy.
The bill was carried over by the Senate, and Warren said she expects it will be brought up again Thursday. Last year, a child died in Mobile after a daycare worker left the child inside a van. She later dumped the child's body where it was found by another child on the way home from school. The daycare was not state regulated or licensed.
Today, Alabama is closer to setting aside a new day of honor for civil rights icon Rosa Parks. On Tuesday, an Alabama Senate committee approved legislation to name December 1st Rosa Parks Day. The bill is now on the way to the full Senate. Parks was arrested December 1st in 1955 in Montgomery for refusing to give up her bus seat to a white man. Her arrest sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, a key event in the civil rights movement. Supporters began the push to get a named day for her earlier this year.
Also in Alabama, funds are going to the prison system in an effort to comply with a federal court order. Alabama lawmakers have approved an $85 million increase to improve mental health care for inmates. Tuesday, the House of Representatives approved $30 million for the Department of Corrections before September and a $55 million boost in next year's general fund budget. The budget also includes an additional $1 million for the Department of Youth Services to create alternative treatment programs for troubled youth.
This morning, one East Alabama family is waking up without a home. This comes after fire destroyed their house. A possible explosion near a home heating unit may be the reason for the early Tuesday fire. That fire happened along Lee Road 2071 in Salem. Smith Station fire crews say the homeowners were asleep when they heard a small explosion, then saw the smoke. Everyone made it out safely.
An update this morning to a developing story. One Auburn family is mourning the loss of a woman killed in a head-on collision in Opelika. It happened Monday along Highway 29 North. Lee County Coroner Bill Harris says 25-year-old Taylor Webster died at the scene. The other driver was airlifted to the hospital with serious injuries. Police do not believe either driver was wearing a seatbelt.
This morning, a Columbus police officer is heading to work with a new title, Public Servant Officer. Robert Grant was presented with the Hero Award by Piedmont Columbus Regional last night.
Grant came to the aid of a domestic violence victim by removing her from a hostile environment and getting her medical help. He was also trying to navigate a language barrier. Officer Grant had this to say.
She's reached out a couple times in the past, I've been told, and hadn't got much response just because they couldn't understand her. But luckily she reached out one more time, had faith in us, and we were able to actually give her some help. So that's just my message to folks out here. If y'all need help, just come ask. If you see us in a car, off duty, you see a badge, just come ask for help. We can do something for you.
Now, Piedmont Columbus Regional Marketing Director Joel Ames delivered the award and noted that the lives of people have been impacted forever in positive ways by Officer Grant.
One Eufaula man has been missing for a month now. This morning, his family is begging the public to help in their search for Benny Pig Moore. The disappearance of Moore has been rough on his family, especially during the holidays. News 3 spoke with his sister and Eufaula police about that case.
What was it like going through Christmas and New Year's Day not having your loved one with you?
Well, each day as we speak is hard. See, he lived with me.
We searched everywhere that we thought he may have been. Everybody that knows Pig, knows Mr. Moore, knows he walks up and down the streets a lot. We see him at various convenience stores. We have seen him at some, the last time he was seen was at a convenience store, but since then he hasn't been seen since.
Police say they know people don't just disappear, and although they do not suspect foul play, they're not ruling anything out. This morning, Eufaula police ask anyone with information to contact them.
New details this morning in the failed execution of a death row inmate in Alabama. Lawyers for Doyle Ham say a settlement is possible in the case. This comes after the execution team could not find a usable vein in Ham's attempted execution last month. Lawyers for the state and Ham wrote that they are in serious settlement discussions. Officials did not elaborate on what that settlement may entail. The attorney says Ham has damaged veins because of lymphoma, hepatitis, and his own past drug use. Ham had been scheduled for execution last month for the 1987 murder of motel clerk Patrick Cunningham.
In just a few hours, the clemency hearing of condemned murderer Carlton Gary, also known as the Stalking Strangler, will be heard at the Capitol. Gary was sentenced to death in 1977 for the murders of Florence Scheibel, Martha Thurmond, and Kathleen Woodruff. Gary declined to request a last meal, but he will be receiving the institutional tray consisting of a grilled hamburger, hot dog, white beans, coleslaw, and a grape beverage. News 3's Michaela Singleton will be at the Capitol today with the results of the hearing. Be sure to follow our Twitter for live updates.
Well, this morning, the Pentagon is working to protect the children of service members.
According to an investigation by the Associated Press, children who are sexually assaulted by other kids on military bases are not getting justice. The investigation reveals criminal investigators shelved an unknown number of reports. The report also shows offenders are often sent to the civilian world instead of facing punishment or rehabilitation. The military acknowledges many records are incomplete. Since 2007, Fort Benning had 18 cases, Fort Stewart had 5, and Fort Gordon had 1 case. Pentagon officials promised to take appropriate action. This morning, we are on your side. The Lee County DA's office is urging all parents to attend a free presentation on sex, cell phones, and social media safety. The event is March 19th at Smith Station Junior High School. The presentation could be key to helping you protect your children from social media dangers. Parent and prosecutor Brandon Hughes says you may not realize just how dangerous your child's smartphone can be.
If a 16-year-old or 15-year-old girl sends a picture of her breast to her boyfriend, well, she's produced child pornography and she's disseminated that. Now, the fact that he's got it on his phone, he also possesses it. Let's say he sends it out to his friends or his buddies at some point. Well, now he's got dissemination of child pornography.
Hughes says sending or receiving nude photos can result in your child being convicted of a felony and having to register as a sex offender. The presentation also discusses apps to watch out for. Hughes considers Kik an online predator's paradise. Be sure to mark your calendars for Monday night at 6 Eastern Time.
Well, still to come on News 3 this morning, find out how you can help promote literacy in the Chattahoochee Valley area.
And you don't want to miss those details in the event happening today.
Say cheese! Today is Pie Day in more ways than one. I'll explain that after the break.
We're going full throttle this year at Thunder in the Valley Air Show, April 7th and 8th, Columbus Airport. Download our free app and get your tickets now at thunderinthevalleyairshow.com.